Daniel's life in the Bible is a powerful example of unshakable trust in God. From a young age, Daniel chose faith over fear, obedience over comfort, and trust over compromise. His story teaches us that true trust in God does not depend on circumstances, but on a deep relationship with Him. Daniel was taken captive from Jerusalem to Babylon as a young man. He lived in a foreign land, under a pagan government, surrounded by people who did not worship the true God. Yet Daniel never allowed his environment to change his faith. One of the first tests of his trust came when he refused to eat the king's food, which was against God's law. Daniel trusted that honoring God would bring favor, and God rewarded him with wisdom, health, and respect. Daniel 1. The greatest proof of Daniel's trust is seen in the story of the lion's den. When King Darius made a law that no one could pray to any god except the king for 30 days, Daniel faced a life or death decision. He knew the law and he knew the punishment. Yet Daniel chose to pray openly, just as he always had. He did not hide his faith or change his habits. Daniel trusted God more than he feared men. Because of his faithfulness, Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. Humanly speaking, there was no hope, but Daniel trusted that God was able to save him. That night, God sent his angel to shut the mouths of the lions. Daniel was completely unharmed. His trust in God became a testimony to the king and the entire kingdom that the God of Daniel is the living God. Daniel's trust was not blind or foolish, it was rooted in prayer. The Bible shows us that Daniel prayed consistently, even when answers were delayed. In Daniel chapter 9, he prayed and fasted for understanding, and God responded by sending an angel with revelation. Daniel trusted God's timing, knowing that God hears every prayer. Another important lesson from Daniel's life is that trust in God brings wisdom. God gave Daniel understanding of dreams and visions that no one else could explain. Because Daniel trusted God, God trusted Daniel with divine secrets. His faithfulness positioned him for influence, even in ungodly governments. Daniel's story teaches us that trusting God does not mean life will be easy. It means God will be faithful. When we choose obedience, God provides protection. When we choose prayer, God provides peace. When we choose trust, God reveals His power. In today's world, believers face pressure to compromise their faith. Daniel reminds us to stand firm, pray boldly, and trust God completely. The same God who protected Daniel in the lion's den is still faithful today. When we trust God with our lives, He will never fail us.